What's up, everybody, and welcome back to another edition of Ohio Sports Talk. I am your host, Doug. That's my guy, Jordan Maxon. Jordan, how the hell are you today, buddy?
Hey, but besides the rain, I'm doing pretty good. So
Yeah, dude, this rain lately has been an absolute kick in the ass. What is going on recently?
I don't know. They say April showers. It's been a few years since we got it like this. You know, the Reds game got canceled today, and it's just kind of affecting things here in Ohio. So hopefully it'll
Yeah.
dry up.
Yeah, no, dude, it's affected everything. We're supposed to be having t-ball practices. We're supposed to be trying to get these kids like learning how to play the game, and we're getting monsooned constantly. What's been going on in life though, buddy? Besides sports, anything important going on?
Not too much. I got an interview coming up to be a PE and health teacher and coach. So we'll see how that we'll see how that pans out. I'm pretty excited for that opportunity.
Okay, great. That's awesome. Yeah, that super exciting. Happy for you, bud. Where's that opportunity at?
Opportunities over at Alter to be a
nice.
PE. So.
That's pretty awesome. Speaking of which, Jordan, we have a special show coming up on Monday. Would you like to give any background information on that?
Yeah, we're gonna do a little show on Monday. We're gonna roll out Alter, who won the Division II state championship here in Ohio for their men's basketball. We're gonna go through their journey. We're gonna have a special guest on, one of their assistant coaches on their staff and in their school, and we're gonna break down how they got there.
Yep.
And just kind of what took them to the championship, how they won it, kind of preview a little bit of next year, and make some announcements as we go. So it's going to be a special show. It's going to be awesome. We're going to be streaming on several platforms at the same time. So we're gonna touch a lot of new areas we haven't really gone before.
Yeah, no, that's big news for us. That'll be fun to do. Got a lot of research that I need to get going for this this new endeavor.
I got all the stat stuff. I got some clips put together.
Yeah,
we'll get cracking on that.
Great. So next thing, buddy, on the agenda, our Cleveland Cavaliers. We know that they've been kind of struggling. We're in that final 3-game stretch. We came back, beat the Grizzlies pretty handily last night. 2 games left. We've got Indiana on tomorrow night, and then we've got one more game against the Hornets. What are your thoughts on these last couple games, buddy? So Indiana, then the Hornets. Any danger in these 2 games? I mean, Indiana's a good team, but thoughts on Indiana and the Hornets going into it?
As I said in my clip a couple days ago, my big concern is the Pacers. The Pacers are going to come out and treat this absolutely like a playoff game, and I think they're going to bring it. I think they're going to bring the hammer. I think they want to make a statement to, if they get Cleveland in round 1 or 2, and we'll kind of touch on that coming up. But Indiana is one of those teams that we got to be on the lookout for. It's a team that they want to make a statement in the East. And on a national broadcast against the Cleveland Cavaliers, no better time for them. While we, on the flip side, we're suffering. We're trying to rebound some injuries, get some guys back. The coaching staff's kind of in panic mode. But I would say the Pacers are a team we should absolutely worry about, because I think they're going to come out 100% and be physical with them all night.
Okay. I do agree with that. The Pacers, and what I like, Jordan, is Jared Allen came out and said, we need to treat this like a playoff game. He came out and said, hey, this is an important game for us. If we want to get to where we're trying to go, this is a big game. And I appreciate him going down that route. So definitely feel like the Pacers game is important. I've got it circled for tomorrow night. But let's look around the NBA though, Jordan, because we are in playoff time. And if you look at the standings, we are a half game out of 3rd place behind the Knicks. The Knicks have Boston tonight on TNT. They've got the Nets, and they've got the Bulls. Now, to me, the Nets is an easy win for them. And then the Bulls game's kind of up in the air, because if the Knicks are locked in, they may not risk any injuries. We could slide into that 3rd spot. We will have that 3rd spot if the Knicks lose tonight to Boston, which I predict they will do. Thoughts on the Knicks and us in the standings, that 3-4 spot that we're all battling for going forward, because the Magic are a game and a half behind the 3 seed now. So I think it's kind of shaped into just the Cavs and the Knicks for the 3 seed. What are your thoughts there?
I agree with you 100%. We're like we're splitting hairs with the Knicks right now. I know the Knicks are kind of injuries, and the game against the Celtics tonight, for every Cavs fan, is something you definitely want to check your phones or check the bottom screen, kind of pay attention to the score, because it has so much implications for us. So definitely want to tune into that in some level or form. But it's all about how Boston's treating it too, because Boston is kind of cruising their position. So I don't know what their starting lineup's going to look like, where the Knicks are going to be fighting tooth and nail, kind of what I was comparing us to the Pacers tomorrow night. So the Knicks are going to come out and bring it. It just depends on who's starting for Boston and how bad Boston really wants this game, or if they want to kind of lay off the pedal and go into the playoffs knowing that nobody's going to touch them for their seeds. So.
Yeah, that's a great point. And I didn't even take that in consideration, unfortunately, because like you said, Boston's got they're squared away. They've got no worries right now. And we need them to show up tonight so we can get this 3 seed.
We need their bench to show up, one of the two.
Right. Now let me pose this, because we are looking ahead at the playoffs here, Jordan. As of today, we play the Magic in the first round. What are your thoughts on the Orlando Magic? They are a young, talented team. But do you think, hopefully, and this is if we play them, they're a year too early? Or do you think they're ready now to potentially beat the Cavaliers?
I don't think they'll beat the Cavaliers. I think the Cavaliers take it in 6. I think it's going to be extremely competitive. I think when we go to Orlando's court is where we're going to lose that first one. Orlando's going to come out and kind of smack them in the face, metaphorically.
Okay.
And it's all about how the Cavaliers respond to that first loss, because I think Cleveland's going to be comfortable in the first round at home, but it's the away games at Orlando that I'm kind of worried about. And the regular seasons against Orlando have all been competitive, have all been pretty down to the wire. And Orlando's been kind of on a roll, because they were a team that were kind of outside looking in about 2.5 months ago or so. And they just kind of took that elevator up, like you said, young, talented. They don't know how to lose necessarily, but they haven't really figured out how to win completely.
There you go. Yeah.
It's that danger zone. But if you mess around and don't take them seriously, it'll be a first round exit for the Cavs. But I think Allen and company, they've got the mentality. We got the scars from last year where we got open wounds. We're going to throw some salt in it. Right. And winning makes everything better. I know there's struggles right now, and we know we'll touch on that. But Orlando's a team that I didn't want to play in the first round. We've kind of beat the drum on that times on the show. But it's looking more and more likely that this is our destiny. So let's go in full force and take down a young team that doesn't know necessarily how to win yet.
Fair comment. Okay, flip side, because this could happen. Hey, we could get that 3 seed. Pacers, what's your level of concern 1 through 10, and then we'll move on. 1 through 10 on the Pacers concern.
I put them at about a 3 or 4. I'm less.
Oh, you're not concerned at all.
I'm less concerned about the Pacers than I am Orlando, because Orlando wants to make that noise. Orlando Tampa reputation they haven't had in a while, since almost Gilbert Arenas and company were there, and Antoine Jameson. So they really want to elevate their level of play. The Pacers are kind of a hit or miss squad. They have a team that really hasn't gelled together well. They do have stars. They do have people that can certainly make some noise, certainly give us some problems. Their roster as a whole on their back end, I'm not too worried about them, because our front court's kind of dominated them between Allen and Mobley. So I'm okay with playing the Pacers in round 1 if need be.
Okay. So yeah, I think I'm comfortable with both opponents. I would feel a little bit better about the Pacers also, but I'm not as confident as you are giving them a 3 or 4. I do think they are a good team, and I worry about our rotations and our coaching staff in the playoffs. I do think that's a big concern. Jordan, let's talk about something else here. Donovan Mitchell plays last night against the Grizzlies in a game that really we should have won either way without him. Do you think he plays the next 2 games, or do you think that was maybe his get right game and then we kind of move on? Because he ended up He ended up with 34 minutes, scored 29 points. He looked good shooting the ball, 5 threes. Do you think that's enough? Do you think we rest him the next 2 nights, or do we see him play again? Because if Jared Allen calls this a playoff game, there's no way we go into this game not bringing it. So what are your thoughts there?
You know, that the coaching mindset for myself says rest Donovan Mitchell. You know, let Darius Garland continue to get touches and heavy volume so he can be tuned up for the playoffs. Because we know Donovan Mitchell is going to bring it. We know he's going to elevate this team, and his health is everything. But the wrong step, you know, the wrong hit to the face, the wrong underneath the basket, kind of, you know, not things that can go in and night out in the NBA or any basketball whatsoever. It's just, to me, it's just too much. Why risk it? But like I said, the statement's already out there. This is going to be a playoff atmosphere. They're going to treat it like a playoff game. So I fully expect him to play. JB Bickerstaff, I have zero confidence in making the right decision for the team's longevity. He's probably looking in and night out for his job security, which is why he probably played against the Grizzlies, even though it was kind of Allen that took control of that game in the third quarter and flipped it around for the Cavs. But I'm not confident. I think he's going to play. You know, I pray for his health, and I'll be glued to my television screen or my phone screen, really paying attention to everything he has to absorb. So I'm nervous.
Okay, Jordan, last question about the Cavs, and then we're going to move on. If you had to choose on this Cavs roster, give me 8 or 9 guys that's going to be that playoff rotation.
Well, we know Nang's going to be in a playoff rotation. We know, I think Marcus Morris has played enough minutes to be at the back end of the playoff rotation. I think Tristan Thompson's going to be the outside man looking in. I don't think he's going to get much usage unless there's injury. But what I hope to see, I hope we get some guys back. I hope we get Dean back in some kind of capacity. His plus minus when he's on the floor, especially on the rebounds, is always a big energizer for us off the bench. We know he can shoot threes in rotation and split time and kind of take off, you know, some minutes of Mobley, so he's not getting constantly used out. But those are the guys I really kind of focus on. Is anybody in your mind that absolutely has to be part of the rotation, or somebody that you don't?
So to me, the rotation is going to be obviously the starters: Mitchell, Garland, Mobley, Allen, Strus. And then these 4 guys are the guys I want to see get minutes off the bench, and then we can work from there. I obviously Isaac Okoro, George Niang. I know he's inconsistent, but we have to have that shooting. Karis LeVert, I think, is obvious. He's been our 6th man. He's one of the better 6 men of the year this year. And then I want Sam Merrill to get minutes. I would like to see him get some extra minutes in the playoffs because his 3-point shot could change a game, and I think that's important to have in your rotation. And then the big for me, I think, is going to be Tristan Thompson in the playoffs. I don't think we consistently get to 10-man rotation, but those are the 10 guys that I'm riding with. And then if we get into a situation where maybe somebody's in foul trouble, that's when we get to see maybe more Mookie Morris. You know, I just don't know. Based on what we've seen from JB, I don't know if he's in the rotation, you know, going to be in the way we potentially think he could.
I would like to see Okoro kind of, I know it's not realistic. I'd like him to see some split, probably even minutes with Strus, because Okoro is a better defender than Strus. Strus kind of gives us some liabilities on a defensive end. He sometimes makes up for it with streaky shooting on offensive end, but Okoro gives you that defensive mindset for the whole game. So I think if push comes to shove, I'd like to see Okoro get more minutes than Strus, and Strus kind of go into the rotation, you know, when we need spark off the bench. But JB,
but to me, after watching, like, and I know this is not the same, but watching Miami play last year and watching Strus play stupid well in the playoffs, I still hold out hope that he's got that next gear again for potentially, you know, a series or 2. So that's why I'm sticking with Strus as our starter. And Okoro and LeVert. Okoro would be the first 2 guys off the bench for me. But Jordan, we've hit the Cavs. We've got a lot more time left in this season. We've got the playoffs coming up. We've got it's going to be a ride. We're going to be glued to it. We're going to be all over it. But let's move on to the Cincinnati Reds, Jordan. Struggling with the Brewers. The Brewers, for whatever reason, they just own the Reds. I mean, it sucks, but they own the Reds. We talked about it last on Monday. What are you taking away from this series? Are we that much worse than the Brewers as a franchise? What do you think the difference is between us and them?
I don't think it's a roster, Doug. I think it's coaching. I think David Bell can't manage a rotation. Kind of echoes how I feel about the Cavs coach.
Yeah.
You're kind of looking at the lineup when you know your 3 and 4 batters are struggling in the middle lineup. Kind of.
I'm gonna touch on that bigger, but keep going.
How they have been. You either got to take a rest day or you got to look deeper into the rotation and see if you can't axle the wheels a little bit here because it's so early in the season. So I'm not saying anybody by any means, but whether it's injury, mental block, fatigue, because it's early and these guys are getting minutes they're not used to, outside of spring training. It comes down to the hitting in the lineup right now for me for the Reds. It's just too inconsistent. One game we're going 8 to 10 runs, one game we're hitting 2 to 3. It's a serious fall off. But I do want to give a shout out to Elly Cruz. We stayed strong with him. We told everybody to calm down, even though the team is struggling as a whole. He is kind of sparking up and getting time. So I'm happy to see that. But I'm going to let you talk more about the rotation and kind of really bring that home.
So, like you mentioned, David Bell, the chirping has kind of started to get a little louder about potentially moving on from him. I don't think the Reds do it. I think, it doesn't seem like it's in the cards for them to move on from him. But something needs to change. When your 3-4 hitter are combined 15 of 98 for a 153 batting average this year, that's a sign of concern. You're not driving in the runs you need. You're not scoring in your key positions. They're hitting 3 and 4 for a reason, and it's not getting done. They have a combined 9 RBIs so far. Spencer Steer alone has 15. Elly De La Cruz has 7. I mean, that's where our runs are coming from. Nick Martini has 9, and he's only had 21 at bats. That's less than half of the at-bats that our 3-4 hitter have had. We're struggling at key positions in our lineup, and to me, I think it's unfortunate because in David Bell's interview after the game last night, he said he wasn't going to make any changes. To me, why not send these guys down and shake it up just a little bit? I'm not even saying they can't be the 3-4 hitters in a week. It doesn't even have 2 weeks. Give them 2 weeks to get down, get back into their groove, and then bring them back into the 3-4 spot. To me, it's just sometimes there's micromanaging, and then sometimes there's not enough managing. There's no happy medium with David Bell, in my opinion. We're just missing that groove. We need to find that groove. Quick shout out to Darren on Fat Boy Fadeaway. Big Spencer Steer supporter. I think everybody's a Spencer Steer supporter. He's one of, in my opinion, the better players in the NL. He's one of the more unrecognized players in the NL. Having a great start to his season. If we had 9 Spencer Steers, we'd be in the World Series. But Jordan,
he's likable too.
Yeah, exactly.
He stays around at the stadium. I dig a lot of what he does outside of game time. So he's definitely bankable.
And then, so next thing, Jordan, in my opinion, and this is just hypothetical, and we'll maybe hopefully get some feedback on this. For the next week or so, I would like to see them trot out this lineup and see if maybe we can get these guys going a little bit. Put Fairchild at 1. He has proven me wrong. I didn't think this guy was all that great, but he's been playing good baseball, and I think that needs to be rewarded. I'd have him hitting the top spot. I'd move Elly to number 2. I know that's a risk because of the strikeouts, but again, we're shaking it up. We're trying something different. I'd put Spencer Steer at 3rd. I'd put Jake Fraley at 4. I'd put CES at 5 because of his power. He still needs to be near that spot, but let's move him out and take a little pressure off. Indy at 6 to separate Strand and Candelario. Then I'd have Benson and I'd have Stevenson. And then, you can shake it up with your DH however you want to do it. But those are the guys that I would play. I would have, and just try something different. I'm not, we're not going to change the wheel here. We're just trying to shake things up and get these guys going. And maybe in these less pressure at bats, there you go. Any thoughts on that kind of lineup change?
The only thing I would change, I would put Elly at the 3, just because he does.
See, but I trust Steer more than Elly.
Base, he gets his on base percentage is right up there, and but
if you think he gets on base more, then you would want him on base for Spencer Steer.
You're right.
So I would keep him at 2 to give Spencer Steer opportunities for RBIs because that's our best hitter. So I get what you're saying, and at some point I would like to see Elly hit 3. I would love to see Elly hit 3, but I trust Spencer Steer more to come through, and that's why I have it laid out that way. Obviously, David Bell's content with what we've got. It's still early in the year, Jordan. We're 6-6. We're 12 games in. We got 150 games to go. It's going to be it's a marathon, not a sprint, buddy. And
I know, but we get excited. We see these young. We see what we can do in some games, and we see a struggle and kind of fizzle out in the next, and it's kind of drives me crazy. So
for sure, I totally get that. We're 1-3 in our last 4. That's what worries me. That kind of thing right there. The Hunter Green pitching to me, he's so talented. He can throw the ball so hard, but he's not a pitcher yet. He's a hard throwing guy who can't go. He's not gotten to the point where he's a legitimate pitcher. He needs to get a little more refined, a little more skill in the art. And then I think the sky's the limit for him after that.
Well, I agree with you. Once he gets polished, once he gets kind of that, that there's 3 and 4 pitches in the bag, we can get the curve going. We can get kind of softer pitches, slower pitches. He can kind of change, definitely change the mindset and do the
and he's working on it. To be fair, he is working on it. It's just not here yet, and we're kind of getting to that point where we need him to be here. He's only 23. I get it. We have all the time in the world, but we're starting to get to the point where we need this guy to come through, every 5th day. Nick Lodolo's coming back this weekend. That's going to be a shot in the arm. I would say he has the potential to be our best pitcher, and that's huge coming into the weekend. If this rain ever stops, we'll get to see him pitch. You never know. If it keeps raining, he may skip this start and go to the next one. That does happen sometimes with the rain. Jordan, last thing on the Reds before we move on. I'm worried about their defense. Their defense has been atrocious. I mean, we're making errors all the time out in the field. Something's got to change with that alone. The errors are ridiculous.
I think the errors are a lot of back end communication. Other than we saw Elly's 3.
Elly's got 5 errors already.
Yeah, well, we saw 3 of them in one game. I don't think you'll see that kind of volume from him ever again. To be
God, I hope not. Jesus,
I know, but
holy shit, man.
I think that's kind of a testament though to how inconsistent spring training is, because it's a lot of communication based. These guys were 12 games in, and it's like taking a team, an offensive line or a line that didn't really play together in the preseason and hoping they gel in week 1 of the regular season. So I think, like you said, it's a marathon. I think the communication is going to clean up. I think we're going to get guys in position. Jonathan India has to be the big voice on that. Him being more of a veteran, both infield and outfield on this squad especially. I think once he kind of steps into that role and cleans things up, the errors are going to, errors are always going to happen because it's a game of baseball. But I think we're going to see a major cleanup in that. But Jonathan India's got to be the center point and the focal point, at least vocally, for that to happen. So I fully expect him to take that role and run with it.
Okay. Well said, buddy. We're going to keep hammering home the Reds. Hey, we're in for the long haul. We appreciate getting those interactions with Reds fans. It's been great talking to you guys on Twitter and doing all that. It's been fun. I'm excited. I can't wait for you and me to go down and go to a game and get a little wild down there in the outfield with some of the rowdy Reds fans. That's something I'm really looking forward to. Jordan, let's transition though, buddy. Ohio State spring game this Saturday. It is going to be televised on Fox. The first spring game ever televised on national TV. What are your thoughts on this the spring game now being televised? It's really cool in my opinion.
I'm excited, especially with the way the NIL works now, and players like deals and stuff, so that they're kind of able to get their name out there early without it being fall, and it kind of brings national attention to it. Urban Meyer and Brady Quinn are going to be the voices in this game, so
yeah.
We all know Urban. Most of us love Urban, so I think that's definitely going to bring more excitement to it. And it's really going to highlight what this season means to Ohio State. We've always been kind of there outside looking in. We had the Mystic against Georgia. We had the players not play last year, against Missouri. So this year it's kind of all or nothing. We have Chip Kelly in the building,
right.
Offense. Ryan Day's finally, bending a knee and letting the offense kind of do its own thing about his interference, and all eyes on the quarterback.
Yeah, that's what I was going to talk about, dude. That is what I want to talk about.
That is sweet music to my ears, honestly. Him being a freshman, I have zero worries when you're hearing this kind of things and you're seeing the footage coming out.
Right.
Goes to the receivers that have been pinpoint downfield. How are you feeling about it?
So I've been, here's the thing. I get so involved in the NBA, and then we get to baseball, and then all of a sudden, boom, it's spring game. I'm playing a little bit of catch up. We're following plenty of really, really good accounts with Ohio State football. Obviously, we follow 11 Warriors, and we hear a ton of information there. It's just I'm a little bit behind on my Ohio State, but damn it, am I excited. We've got a massive QB competition. We bring in Will Howard from Kansas State. We bring in Aaron Noland, a top 5 quarterback in his class. We bring in Julian Sayin, the number 1 quarterback in the class. We've got Devin Brown. We've got Lincoln Kinholtz. We've got 5 guys in the mix for starting quarterback. To me, Jordan, on Saturday, I'm watching one thing. No, I'm watching 2 things. I'm watching the quarterback position, and I'm watching how he interacts and how he's protected by the line. Who looks the best coming out of this game is going to be huge for me. I'm guessing Sayin's going to be leading one team, and Will Howard's going to be leading the other. Does that sound right to you?
Yes. All the news coming out of training right now is all about Sayin.
Yeah.
And his just complete ability to lead the offense and lead the practices and be a voice. I'm not taking anything away from Nolan, but everything that I'm hearing, all the footage that I'm seeing is Sayin is here to win the job.
I love that shit. I love that.
Like I said, I'm not nervous about it at all. Number 1, like you said, you hit the nail on the head. Number 1 in his class for a reason, and he's in the building showing it, and that's something sorely needed. We haven't had a competitive quarterback battle probably in the last 5 years, so it's been a while for Ohio State to have this kind of media attention and this battle this early. Like you said, it's springtime. We're thinking NBA basketball playoffs and MLB firing up, and all of a sudden, Ohio State's making noise at the quarterback position. This is a whole situation to be in.
Jordan, I tweeted this out last night or the night before. I'm gonna go ahead and nail it in. Julian Sayin will be our starting quarterback week 1 of the season. He is the guy. You come in and you're the best guy on campus as a freshman. That's incredible. And I appreciate them having the competition, but I think he takes it and wins it because in my opinion, Jordan, if it's close with a freshman to a guy who's a senior, you got to let that freshman start. If he's that close to a guy who's done this for 4 years already, no reason in my mind that he should not be the starter because what are we going to do for the next 2-3 years? He's going to be the guy. I think he needs to be the guy right away. What's your thoughts on that? shout out to Tyler McGurk. Him and I are doing a movie podcast here in a little bit. That guy's been really, really good pal recently. And also shout out to TMS Sports. Thank you guys for chiming in. Kyle McCord for Heisman. Hey, I'll tell you what. You give Syracuse the right weapons. They're gonna win. They're gonna win 7 games for sure. But Jordan, what are your thoughts on me stamping Julian saying it will be the starting quarterback come start of the season?
I fucking love it. I absolutely do. You hit the nail on the head, kind of precisely. And like you said, if we're splitting hairs of the guy that's been doing it for 4 or 5 years versus a guy who's ready right now, and we have the weapons around him right now, because we do have some veterans in the backfield and veterans in the receiving room on top of freshman talent that we need to sink in. He needs to sink in with these younger guys right now to make a 2 to 3 year run together, get that chemistry going. You can't miss out on that. If you're Chip Kelly and you're seeing this right now, you cannot miss out on that. You got to develop that chemistry right now through the door. And
yep, definitely.
There's no reason to. And if nobody transfers and we have that talent behind him, if injuries rear its ugly head and knickknacks happen, then we have that security blanket of bringing in somebody that is experienced, that can do it,
right?
So losing any longevity and the goal of a national championship, especially in this expanded playoff field. So Ohio State, the table is set. They just got to put the whole art form together from top to bottom. It's going to be beautiful to watch. We're only in the spring, and my mindset. I'm thinking about it all the time. I'm like, what is it going to look like? Is Aaron Nolan going to get packages? Is Sayan going to, run with his legs? Is Howard going to, get kind of design plays? Are we going to see what are we going to see? How's Chip Kelly going to chalk it up? Especially, since he brought in his running back coach from Oregon as well. So
right.
we're a lot to be excited about offensively.
Yeah, and then I would be remiss not to mention Jeremiah Smith, the freshman receiver who is a legitimate phenom. I think he's beating down the door to be a starter on day one. Also, that kid, the videos we get to see of him, every couple of days, blow your mind. His talent is next level. But Jordan, let's move on. What'd you say?
I was just giving Brian Hartline does it again.
Hey, he's the best in the business. The best in the business. Brian Hartline, incredible recruiter. But Jordan, we're going to be talking Buckeyes. We're going to watch the game on Saturday. We'll have some recap, some discussion on Monday. I know we're going to be doing the Alter show. We'll maybe lead off with some quick Buckeye talk, and then we'll get right into that. But Jordan, let's move on. The Masters started today. We picked our winners. You ended up picking our guy Cam Smith. Here's the graphic. Cam Smith.
Love graphics.
The graphic. Hey, if you're gonna grow your hair out like that, you got to be on the graphic like that. Look at it. Now, the reason I put the plus 450 on there, or 4,500, because that's where they started at today when I made my bets. So that's the number. Obviously, things have changed as the round's gone along. You went Cam Smith. I went John Ram. Just a guy that I've loved watching golf over the past 5-6 years. What was your reasoning behind your pick, Jordan?
Just watching him in the previous years, watching him on tour. He's definitely somebody that's kind of caught my eye. He's exciting. He communicates with the media pretty well, and he just popped in there. When you asked the question, the rain delays. I haven't really got to watch these guys get out and practice was. So when I looked at the qualifiers, who's in and who's out, he stuck out like a sore thumb for me. He's kind of the people's champion. If I can, he's everyday person, the person you want to wake up and you want to have a beer with, you want to go shoot the back nine with. So that's just he caught my mind, and I've always been rooting for him through several different tours. So he's my guy. So I stuck with him. What about you? What brought you to? I know you kind of touched on it, watched him over the years. What makes you confident for the Masters this year?
I've been a fan of John Ram for a while, and I just like his game. He's got a great game, and I think as he's a past winner, and I like the experience factor of that. And I thought he had good odds winning. Also, I always like to play the odds. So to me, I've been a guy. I like the way he carries himself on the course. I like the way he play. I like the way he golfs. I think he's a really talented golfer. He did end up +1 today. He's tied for 42nd. And then your guy, Cam Smith, tied for 15th. He was -1. He's on the 17th. I know the rain is causing issues and things there for today. Hoping those guys can make it through the cut, and then we'll really be in the money, because I also put us down for a bet together since you made your pick and I made my pick. I got John Ram finishing top 10. I got Cam Smith finishing top 10. That pays out at plus 889, $10 bet. I think I had a plus 25% or something. So $98 if both of our guys finish in the top 10 together. So thought that was fun. I wanted to throw that in there. Just so we have a little bit of extra riding on this one. Any thoughts on that, Jordan?
No, I'm all about it. I think it'd be fun to see.
Yeah, and then our guy over at TMS Sports, Henderson, breaking out this year. I think he's going to have a good year, but he's also got a guy who's in the backfield with him in Judkins, who's an incredible talent. So to me, I think if both guys finish in that 800 to 1,000 yard rushing area, both of them come together, each guy has over 800 yards. I think that's going to be killer. I think we're going to be incredibly hard to stop on offense if those two guys are both running hard. So I would say breakout year, probably not, just because of the talent level that's with him in the backfield. Does that make sense, Jordan?
Oh, it absolutely does. The transfer we got from Ole Miss,
right?
He was one of the best running backs in the SEC, and
exactly, it's crazy.
The way Elly likes to, do his running game, it's been kind of a split backfield. Chip Kelly's not known for having a singular, pound the rock kind of system.
Yeah,
so always kind of spread out. But that's what makes his offenses one of the most dynamic in the league, because you never know who you have to stop playing and play out. So like you said, Ohio State's going to move the ball up and down the field successfully. It's going to be split back. There's not going to be necessarily one guy that's going to share all the stats. There's not going to be that King Henry kind of guy that carries the ball 40, 50 times a game. It's going to be pretty evenly spread out. So.
Yeah, no, well said. Hey, Jordan, look, man, we've done 37 minutes. We've got 67 eyeballs on the show tonight. Thank you to everybody who watches the show, everybody who interacts with us on Twitter, Instagram, social media, Facebook. We're trying to work on Facebook. Facebook's tough, dude. I don't know what's going on over there half the time, but we're trying to expand things. We're trying to get better in every area. I think you did a great job tonight, buddy, and I think this was a good show. Any thoughts before we get out of here? I know Monday is going to be a little bit different. We're going to be talking alter nights. We're going to be talking their push to the state championship in Division II. Any thoughts before we get out of here, bud?
No, just always want to thank our fans. 67 eyeballs. That's always great for us. That's big for us. We're starting out. We've been kind of pushing this a little over a month now. So we, I'm just happy to be here. Always happy for interactions. You can hit up on the Ohio Sports Talk page, or you can Jordan Maxon too, or Douglas Stevens. We'll always interact with you, intermingle. If you got stats or things you want to throw our way, give us the attention, give us the time. We got a big thing coming up for the draft. I just want to continue to remind people on that. We're gonna have some special guests. We're gonna bring in some different eyeballs, get some different perspectives. It's gonna be one of your shows, and we're gonna take off from there. As always, it's always a pleasure to be in front of you guys, the audience, and hope to see you again here in a couple days. I'll probably have some snippets, things going out this weekend, especially the Masters. You'll definitely hear one of us, if not both of us, on Sunday. Just look out, and we'll see you then.
Yeah, guys, that's the show. Hey, check out UFC 300 this weekend. I will be talking a little bit UFC 300 tomorrow night. Great time in sports, guys. Absolutely loaded with content. We will be coming with you all weekend. Guys, this has been Ohio Sports Talk. I'm your host, Doug. That's Jordan Maxson, and we will see you guys Monday. Out.